From the Fox family, we have some news. Have agreed to go their separate ways. The news that day came out so quickly and broke my heart. What a strange turn of events. Conservative journalist Mark Levin shocked everyone when he made a big announcement on Fox News Harris Faulkner. This shocking news sent shockwaves through the political world and left watchers in shock afterward. His brave announcement could have had huge effects and could have changed the game. As the shockwaves of this seismic news spread across the country, pundits and analysts tried to figure out what might happen. Let's look into what's going on in the entertainment business right now and figure out why Mark Levin made this shocking news that caught many by surprise. Many people still think that Faulkner's choice to leave Fox News was a big one. The amazing thing is that Mark Levin's comment on her behavior has led to more rumors that she is leaving Fox News. Do you want to know more? Keep your eyes on the screen to get all the information. How did Faulkner get lost? Harris Faulkner has been a well-known face at Fox News for a long time. She is known for being smart, professional, and authoritative as a news reporter. She has worked at the network for a long time, where she is known for handling tough situations with ease and style. Faulkner is known as one of the most respected people at Fox News because of the unique way she presents information and the skill with which she can connect with viewers and lead tough talks. She had been a well-known person in the network for a long time, so when she suddenly quit, many people were interested in why she made the choice she did. Mark Levin, one of the first people to point out why Faulkner was leaving, was a smart observer of right media trends. Let us now look at what Levin says. Levin's shocking turn of events. Levin said that she quit Fox News not because of a single event, but because of a series of things that made her job there more and more difficult to handle. It looked like she was at the top of her job, but the stresses she was feeling inside were getting worse. Levin said that Faulkner's decision to leave was caused by both personal and professional losses that were made worse by bigger changes at Fox News. One of the main reasons Faulkner quit was that Fox News' political views have changed over the last few years. The network has made big changes to how it presents programming. It is slowly moving away from some of its more conservative views in order to appeal to a wider range of people. This change started out slowly, but over time, it became clearer in the network's shows. People said that Faulkner didn't agree with these changes because she had built her career on conservative ideas. Levin thought that the new direction of the network went against her morals and made it hard for her to be honest as an anchor. It was said that Fox News was having trouble keeping up with the needs of its conservative viewers while also trying to stay competitive in a media environment that was changing quickly. Like many experienced reporters at the network, Faulkner found himself in a tough situation. It was clear to her that the network's change was important, but she still thought that some core values should be kept during this time. The growing difference between Faulkner's beliefs and the way Fox News was going had a big effect on her decision to leave. The way Fox News worked on the inside, especially how its top hosts were treated, was another important reason why Faulkner quit. Levin noticed that Faulkner felt left out in the network structure, even though she had done a lot of great things and was famous. When Levin talked about Faulkner's departure, it brought up the personal problems that her job at Fox News had begun to cause her. Have you ever thought about why Faulkner quit all of these things? It could be something you never thought of. The problems that Faulkner had to deal with because of his job. Like many people who work in the media, Faulkner had to keep up a public image that often concealed the problems she was having in her personal life. People say that the constant stress of being watched by the public and the internal unrest in the organization had a big effect on her. Even though Faulkner was known for her skill, she had trouble balancing the demands of her job with her personal life, which made her feel more tired and burned out. Because of her personal problems and unhappiness with her job, she had every right to leave Fox News. In fact, it may have even been necessary. Also, it's important to think about what will happen to Fox News as a whole when Faulkner leaves. Her leaving is another big loss for the network, which has lost a lot of other important people recently. With each exit, the network loses some of its once unbeatable status as a major player in conservative media. What the exit of Faulkner means. Faulkner's departure is notable because she was a link between standard conservative views and a more modern, open-minded view. One of her best traits was that she could connect with a lot of different types of people while still staying true to her views. Not only is Fox News losing a skilled anchor, but it is also losing a key player in its efforts to keep up with the media, which is always changing. Faulkner's exit brings up important questions about where Fox News will go from here on out. A key member of the network has left, which suggests that there may be problems deeper than meets the eye in the world of right media. As the media business changes, Fox News has to deal with more competition from new, faster platforms that aim to reach a younger, more diverse audience. Faulkner's choice to leave could mean that the network is having a hard time adapting to these changes in a way that meets the needs of both its viewers and its experienced newscasters. Faulkner's exit shows that Fox News needs to rethink how it will keep top talent in the future. Besides the problems Fox News is having within the company, Faulkner's departure could also have an effect on the right media landscape as a whole. She is one of the most important and well-liked African-American women in conservative media, so her loss is felt greatly. Faulkner didn't just use symbols to show things. She gave the network's news a new point of view. If she goes, Fox News could lose an important voice that has helped make its on-air talent more diverse. Also, her leaving could make other media figures who are having similar problems think twice about their jobs at the network. More talk about how media figures affect public conversations has started because of new knowledge about why Faulkner left. Faulkner's work at Fox News changed the way conservative fans got and talked about the news in a big way. Her decision to leave the show brings up important questions about the duties media stars have to their fans and to themselves. Faulkner may have had to give up her views in order to stay at Fox News. As a result, she chose to be honest over keeping her job at the company. This choice brings to light the bigger problems that media figures face when they try to balance their personal beliefs with their work duties. When Faulkner leaves Fox News, people start to wonder about her future, which is very interesting. Because of her skills, experience, and well-known status, she will probably continue to be in the news, but maybe on a different network, her own channel, or in a different role. In any case, it is clear that her leaving Fox News will have long-lasting effects on both her career and the network she is leaving. Levin's reason for her leaving shows how complicated and hard it is to work in the media, especially for someone as honest and well-liked as Faulkner. The wise words of Mark Levin about Harris Faulkner's leaving Fox News is more than just a sign that a big network has changed its leadership. It represents how the media landscape is changing, where different ideas, personal beliefs, and institutional pressures often clash, causing people to make surprising job choices. Faulkner's sudden departure sheds new light on how the media business works, and this has effects that go far beyond her own job path. To understand why Faulkner is leaving, you need to know what her specific job was at Fox News and in the media industry as a whole. Faulkner wasn't just a news anchor, she was a leader. She was one of the few African-American women to hold such a high position in a standard media company. The hard times Faulkner had as an African-American woman. In a field that is often attacked for not having enough women, she stood out. Faulkner showed that people can be successful if they work hard, are skilled, and are strong. It was truly amazing how well she was able to handle the complicated relationship between identity and politics in a media environment that was very divided. Still, dealing with this difficult situation probably caused her a lot of stress, which could have affected her decision to leave. Show how difficult it is for minority leaders to work in a network whose audience is mostly conservative and similar. Even though there is more variety on Fox News, hosts like Faulkner still have to deal with unique problems. Because Faulkner was black and worked in the conservative media, she had to show over and over again that she was a good reporter and that she could bring people together of different races and political views. Even for the strongest people, the weight of such demands can be exhausting, but she handles it with grace and professionalism. When she leaves, it makes you think about how diverse the right media really is. Even though Faulkner's wins at Fox News were a step forward, the fact that she left shows that the environment is still not welcoming to people of color. Faulkner may have quit because she was unhappy with her job and wanted to find her own voice again, not having to follow the network's rules for editing. In the past few years, Levin's approach has changed a lot. Fox News has always been known for strongly supporting conservative beliefs, but it has recently begun to try to get a wider range of people to watch. Some parts of this change have been happening slowly, but others have become more clear, especially after big political events like the 2020 US presidential election. Changes like these can be unsettling for people like Faulkner who have built their career on strong views. Moving toward a more moderate or open-minded editorial style might cause problems between longtime writers and new management strategies that aim to keep ratings high in a media world that is changing quickly. This change in editing style has made things hard for Faulkner and some of her co-workers, who used to work for Fox News but no longer do. Even though Levin's words are mostly about Faulkner's departure, it is important to remember that other well-known people have also left because they were worried about the network's changing identity. People who used to watch Fox News are leaving, which makes people think about the network's future and how it can stay on top of conservative media while also getting more listeners. These things probably played a big part in Faulkner's choice, since she has made a living reporting news from a clearly conservative point of view. Her disappointment may have come from seeing how the network strayed from these basic ideas. You can also look at Faulkner's departure in the context of how the media environment is changing because of the rise of new platforms. Besides this, Faulkner had more important reasons than we thought. Important reasons for leaving. in the past few years, there has been a big rise in the number of new media sites that focus on digital engagement and aiming for a younger, more diverse audience. These platforms are competing with traditional news outlets like Fox News by providing focused content and a more open and adaptable way of reporting the news. For someone like Faulkner, who may have felt limited by Fox News' editorial rules, the rise of new platforms opens up new ways to move up in their job. Many famous people in the media have tried these different ways to move up in their careers, and Faulkner might do the same. She might do it to better fit her own views and goals. The rise of digital media has changed how people get their news in a big way. This bigger change in the business makes sense in light of Faulkner's decision to leave. More people are getting their news online and on social media, which has made television networks like Fox News less important than they used to be. Faulkner has a strong personal brand that could help her leave network TV and connect with her fans in a way that suits her, like by starting her own business or doing something else. Faulkner is in a good position to benefit from the changing nature of new media, where smaller stars can do well without having to rely on big networks. Also, her choice to leave Fox News could encourage other people in the media to do the same. Well-known reporters and news anchors are leaving standard media companies to work on their own projects, which is a change that can be seen. This change comes from a desire for more creative freedom, to be freed from the constraints of corporate editorial, and to be able to interact directly with the public. Faulkner is ready to join this trend because she has a lot of knowledge and a loyal readership. Her leaving could be a sign of a bigger change in the media industry as more people try to make their own mark in a more diverse media landscape. Levant's study of Faulkner's leaving also shows how her leaving had bigger political effects. Fox News has been a big force in conservative politics for a long time, and its hosts and other figures often have a lot of power over public opinion. This could make conservatives angry, especially those who looked up to Faulkner as a figure they could trust. As Fox News changes, it has to make a big choice. Should it become more neutral, or should it stick to its long-held conservative beliefs? Faulkner's departure is a haunting reminder that even groups that have been around for a long time need to change all the time to stay relevant. And Fox News might have to rethink its plans because such a well-known person isn't there. In addition, her leaving could have big effects on the right media landscape as a whole. As one of the few African-American women working in conservative media, her job was important for both its meaning and its symbolism. People are worried about the lack of diversity in this field since she is not there, and the chance that other minority views will be heard on the same level. Faulkner's departure could start a larger talk about how conservative media needs to be more diverse, not just in terms of race and gender, but also in terms of how they cover different ideas. What will happen next with Faulkner? There are different kinds of conservative news sites. Her leaving could make it clearer that we need a wider range of views that cover all of conservative thought. Both people who like Faulkner and people who don't will be closely watching her every move as she moves forward in her career. There are a lot of options for her after she leaves Fox News. It will be interesting to see what she decides to do, whether it's to stay in the media business, look for new ways to connect with people, or work on her own projects. It's likely that her next choice will be very important. Her leaving is a strong reminder that even very good media people have to make tough decisions to stick to their views sometimes. There's more to Faulkner's choice to leave Fox News than just her career. Changes in audience tastes, editorial strategies, and the rise of new platforms are all big problems for the media business. These problems affect how news is made and read. The fact that Faulkner is leaving shows how hard it is to keep your own ethics while also meeting the needs of a well-known media company. It also shows how important diversity is in the media business and how more people need to be represented at all levels. Faulkner is moving on to the next part of her career, but it's clear that she will still have an effect on the media world, whether through new projects or her long history at Fox News. Faulkner has had a long effect on the field of journalism. Her leaving marks the end of a part of her life, but not the end of it all. As the media environment changes, people like Faulkner will continue to have a big impact on how news is shared, read, and understood, at least until something unexpected happens. Levin's shocking news about Faulkner. Levin's explanations of why she quit put light on how complicated the media industry works. They stress the difficulties that great journalists face in their personal and work lives. Although Harris Faulkner is no longer working for Fox News, her exit is still a big deal for her career and for conservative media in general. Her leaving is an important topic to look into, especially in light of Mark Levin's revelations. It covers topics like how news sites have changed over time and the personal sacrifices media workers make in a tough environment. As we look at the bigger effects of Faulkner's choice to leave, we see that it is very complicated. We can better understand the media, the workplace, and the problems famous people face in these situations by paying attention to these small details. Fox News, which is known for being the best conservative news network, needs to make a big choice soon. If Faulkner leaves, it could mean a big change in the show's cast of characters, as well as its political and business positioning in a media landscape that is becoming more split. People know the network for catering to a certain group of conservatives, often showing shows with traditional values and a political platform that leans to the right. Recently, the network has been able to find a good mix between trying to bring in a wider range of viewers and keeping the ones it already has. Faulkner, who was known for being able to connect with a wide range of viewers and for being a well-known news reporter, helped Fox make itself more appealing. Because she joined, the network was able to show that it was varied, welcoming, and professional, which helped counter claims of bias and uniformity. Because of this, her leaving brings up important questions about how Fox will keep its brand character without her. Fox News might lose an important part of its approach if Faulkner isn't involved. This is because the network is trying to balance its standard conservative values with the needs of today's media that cares more and more about variety and welcoming everyone. People are also talking about how women are portrayed in the media, especially when it comes to political conservatives, since Faulkner quit. Her story shows very clearly the special problems women, especially women of color, face when they are in high places. Faulkner's success at Fox News shows how skilled and determined she is, but it also draws attention to bigger problems in the business. Through examples, the text shows the problems and stresses that women may face after having big job successes. Women who work in the media, especially those in high-level positions at big networks, often have to deal with problems that aren't related to their jobs. The public is looking at them closely, they have to deal with office politics, and there is pressure on them to follow certain ideas or behaviors. Understanding why Faulkner quit was affected by these factors, showing that her choice wasn't just about moving up in her career or being unhappy at work. Instead, it had a lot to do with the larger changes in culture and politics that were going at Fox News and in conservative media in general. As an anchor, Faulkner often took part in deep talks about race, politics, and national identity. He often brought these issues up when talking to an audience that was mostly conservative. This position is hard because it requires having deep and thoughtful talks about things like race and identity, which often goes against the simple, divisive language that many conservative media users expect or prefer. The tension in the media business right now makes it hard for anchors like Faulkner to do their jobs. On the one hand, they need to keep up their image as journalists and intellectuals who can understand and talk about a wide range of complicated issues. That being said, they need to cater to viewers who often want material that is more straightforward and based on strong beliefs. People like Faulkner may find this divide very hard to deal with. Who represent minority views in right media? It makes sense that she might be getting more and more angry or upset about the way Fox News is going. Levin pointed out that it can be hard to balance professional duties and personal values in a media environment that is very divided. When looking at Faulkner's decision to leave, it's important to think about the bigger problem of media outlets having the same ideas, especially those who lean toward conservatism. Fox News has a big impact on how people talk because it is one of the biggest right news networks in the world. Still, as media groups become more well-known and powerful, there is often unspoken pressure on important people to closely follow the network's overall ideological direction. Faulkner has spent years building a reputation as a journalist who can talk about tough issues in a way that makes them easy to understand. It may have been hard for her to fit this with Fox's new editorial stance. Fox News isn't the only news outlet that wants people to agree with their views. All news outlets do. Reporters and other media figures from both left and conservative platforms are often told directly or indirectly to support the main story told by their employers. This can make it harder to think of new ideas and for journalists to do the strong critical reporting that is needed for a democracy to work. One way to look at Faulkner's leaving is as a larger criticism of this trend. People might see her choice to leave as a rejection of the ideological pressures that stop real conversations and journalistic freedom. The lack of diversity in right media is another important issue that has come up since Faulkner left. Faulkner's leaving Fox News is a big loss for the network because she was one of the few well-known African-American women working there. There's more to diversity in the media than just numbers. Make sure that a lot of different situations and points of view are carefully included. Faulkner was very important to Fox because he gave the network's reporting a different angle and showing that diversity and conservative principles can live together. This part is missing now that she's gone, and it's not clear how Fox News will fill the gap in the future. Because Faulkner is leaving, the network may have to rethink how committed it is to diversity, not just in terms of race and gender, but also in terms of thought and opinion. An echo chamber effect can happen when there aren't enough different sounds. Where some points of view are pushed to the sidelines or silenced while others are emphasized, like other news outlets, Fox News will have to deal with the lack of diversity and the need to create a place where a wide range of opinions and points of view can thrive. Since Faulkner is already a well-known voice in the media, let's see what happens to the media business from this. The media business was affected by Faulkner's departure. There may be a growing trend among experienced and well-known journalists who are leaving major media to work on their own projects, as Faulkner did. More journalists are leaving major networks to start their own media outlets, podcasts, or independent news agencies. This is one of the most noticeable changes in the media business lately. Part of the reason for this trend is that artists want more freedom from the limits they often face when working for big companies and editorial teams. Faulkner may have been very interested in the idea of being independent, especially if she felt limited by Fox News changing editing standards. It's possible that Faulkner will look for new chances in the future that aren't related to network news. She is ready to do well in the world of independent media, whether it's through a podcast, a digital media platform, or some other form of independent journalism. She already has a large following and a strong image as a reliable news anchor. It is possible for Faulkner to keep having a big impact on public conversations. In the digital age, it's also important to think about how the business as a whole is moving toward news and commentary driven by personalities. Where people watch videos on many devices and their attention spans are getting shorter, people's personalities now have a much bigger impact on what people think. Faulkner and other media figures are no longer just reporting the news, they are also building names. The shift toward news based on people has both pros and cons for reporters and news hosts. It does, however, let people like Faulkner use their public image to build a loyal following. Even though Faulkner is known for being a calm and collected news reporter, she might face problems if she decides to move into commentary, where personality plays a bigger role. The expectations for media stars in the digital world are very different from those for traditional news anchors, even though her skills and behavior will likely help her. People are now more interested in material from media personalities that makes them think and express their opinions. Faulkner may need to change their style to fit these new expectations. Faulkner has a lot of experience and knows how to connect with different types of people, so she is ready to get past these problems and succeed in today's media world. She may also have changed the way other famous writers and media figures think about their own careers after leaving Fox News. People in the media business might think twice about their jobs after seeing how she quit a big network at the height of her fame. A lot of journalists like the idea of being creatively free and independent. This is especially true as traditional media outlets deal with budget cuts, audience fragmentation, and changing editorial goals. It's possible that more bright people will leave traditional media outlets after Faulkner. This is because more journalists want to build their own brands in the digital and independent media industries. This change shows how the link between media companies and their viewers is changing in today's media world. People today have more power than ever before because of the growth of digital news sites and social media streaming services. They can pick and choose what material to watch, when to watch it, and how to watch it. Because of this change, standard media outlets have had to rethink how they get news to people and interact with them. This change gives reporters like Faulkner, who have built strong personal brands, new ways to connect with their readers in deeper and more important ways. If you like this video, please click the next button and share it with your friends.